if you just keep going, eventually you'll get to the end. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius says, the pain will end or your life will end, and that will take care of the pain. There's an Epictetus line, he says, if you only enter competitions where winning is up to you, you'll never be defeated. I think he means racing against yourself, setting your own standards, then success is in your hands. So what I like about challenges, the way I think about it in my life is, who am I racing against? Who am I trying to beat? If I'm trying to beat myself, if I'm trying to push myself, if I'm trying to win just by trying, by doing it, then I'm in the right headspace and I'm thinking about it the right way. Seven-ish?
Seven-ish.
Okay.
Plus or minus, but the problem really isn't the miles. It's right now we're at 3,500 feet in elevation. The town's at 8,500 feet in elevation.
Okay.
So that's 5,000 feet of elevation gain. And 5,000 feet is about a mile. So you're gaining about a mile.
So I'm basically going uphill 1 mile. So
Plus
seven
going
distance,
7 miles.
but then seven,
Yes.
but 1 mile
Yes.
of that is basically straight up.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think anyone's ever done this before?
Ran up it?
Yeah.
Not like willingly, you know, maybe back in the 1800s.
I had a message like the
the road was washed out and they had to get a message up right in the middle of the night. But I don't think willingly anybody has run up this in a while.
Okay.
I think the real question with it all is how long is it going to take? Do you have an estimate of how long you think it's going to
So I did 7 miles earlier this week. Let me see. It took me under an hour to do 7 miles. Probably like 50 minutes to do 7 miles. Okay. I would like to think less than double that.
So less than 2 hours. The other caveat is under 3 days ago, the entire road got washed out. So you're going to have rivets.
That's not so bad.
Rocks.
I live on a dirt road like this. This is where I practice.
Dustin, do you guys higher or lower?
I think it's higher.
How long do you think it's going to take?
245?
245?
I don't want the steak sitting in there for 2 hours under. We're taking guesses on how long it's going to take me to do 7 miles on the road with about 5,000 feet of elevation climb. What's your guess?
Hour and 42 minutes.
Well, I appreciate you believing in me. I don't have any expectation of doing that, but we'll see.
My guess is 3 hours and 35 minutes.
All right, I can definitely beat that.
Comment below how long you think it's going to take trying to run 7 miles. We need an official clock here.
Here, wait. Well, I'm going to start a run on my.
Yeah, well.
Where's the starting line? Is the sign the starting
The
line?
sign. Touch the sign and then touch the porch. So the porch of the museum is the.
Which I'm going to collapse on?
Yep.
There's no turns I can take, so I can't get lost, right?
No, just straight up the road.
All right, I have to touch the sign.
Yep.
The first few miles, everything was going great, felt easy, and it starts creeping up. The climb is just relentless. I tried to catch myself at about what felt like halfway, which should have been about 3.5 miles. I tried to go, don't think of this as halfway. The problem is when you start to get optimistic, when you start to think you're on the downside of it. As a writer, this happens all the time. You go, I'm at the halfway point, I'm about to submit it. There's all these false finishes, right? Or false check marks. You think you're further than you actually are. And then when you realize how much further there is left to go, this is when it crushes you. This is when it kills you. You have to have the discipline to rein in that sort of preemptive celebration, that sense that you've got it. The halfway point, you have to remind yourself, isn't even close to halfway done. And in fact, the last 10%, that might be as hard as a full 50%. And so it gets harder as you go, especially on a trail like this where the climb was just, I said to myself when I was starting, like, it levels off. There's I thought I remember ups and downs. Now this is just up and up and up and up the whole time. There's one point where I'm running and it's real steep and I'm like struggling with it. And then I remember when I drove my truck up here last time, our truck overheated at that point. So you think about how steep and relentless a climb has to be to knock out an F-150 4x4 with a big engine in it. Of course I was struggling, and so I had to remind myself, you know, I'm just a human being.
So, you're just about halfway.
4.5 miles. I better be further than halfway.
I'd say you're about halfway.
Moving
You're,
the goalpost.
you're about halfway.
You know what they say? They say halfway is 90% left.
Right. So
Now's the hard part.
you're doing good time though. You're under an hour.
Yeah, this is 13-minute miles.
That's pretty damn
I
good.
don't need any help. But 1 mile left. I should probably tell myself it's 2. The last mile is always the hardest. You wouldn't think it could just keep going up and up.
Cool.
The important thing about confidence is like when you know you can do something. Like I know I can write a book because I've written a book. I know I can run real far because I've run real far. I know I can push my body further than my body thinks it can go. When you know that, you have a kind of confidence that lets you go, okay, this is physically possible. I'm probably not gonna die doing it. So then it becomes a matter of sheer willpower. The key is to not look behind you and not think too far ahead. That's 1 foot in front of the other. But it's hard when you get a flash forward of how far left to go. That's why Marcus Aurelius said you can't be crushed by your imagination as a whole and all the shit that is to come. I think they got the distance wrong. It's already 6:75. There's gotta be quite a ways to go. The shorts have held up well, the shirt too. There's a John Wooden thing where first day of practice, he has the best recruits in the world. They think he's gonna give them all this sage advice. And he goes, gentlemen, this is how you put on your socks. And then he says, gentlemen, this is how you lace up your shoes. And you're like, what? And his point is, if you don't do that right, you don't sweat the small stuff, you don't get the big things right. The devil's in the details, as they say. And I like these socks. The 10,000 socks are decent. All right. More sit, let's finish this shit. Hey Brent.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to eat?
Pumpkins. Need to be.
I totally ran out of gas. Like,
Because the grade is relentless. I remember before you're like, oh, it flattens out. It never flattens out.
I remember it flattening out in my head.
No, it just always raises. But, at least from my calculations, it was under 2 hours.
I got it 1 hour, 59 minutes and 26 seconds.
Pretty much what I got, yeah.
Because I'm on this tour for discipline, I think what I wanted to test myself and test my discipline, which is why I had the idea that I would run from the bottom of Cerro Gordo to the top of Cerro Gordo. It was a physical challenge, unlike really any I'd done before. I knew that it wasn't about speed. It was really about, like, could I push myself? Could I last longer even when I was uncomfortable and tired and exhausted and totally out of gas? I talk about Shackleton in Discipline is Destiny, and you think about, he had this motto, by endurance we conquer. And you think about what he's subjected to, you think about how badly he would have quit, and you think about what a skill that is. It's a muscle to develop, this sense of fortitude and strength and unwillingness to quit. And you have to seek out things in your life that allow you to test that, and by testing it, make it a little bit stronger. The key thing that humans have to cultivate in life is the ability to endure, to survive, to hold on, to hold fast to the things that are important to them. That to me is the ability to bear, to endure. This is how we conquer. This is how we get through difficult times. This is how we show the world who we are and what's important. I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe. But what I really want you to subscribe to is our daily Stoic email. 1 bit of Stoic wisdom, totally for free, to the largest community of Stoics ever in existence. You can sign up at dailystoic.com/email. There's no spam. You can unsubscribe at any time. I love sending it. I've sent it every day for the last 6 years, and I hope to see you there at dailystoic.com/email.